This is Reality with Partiality. Together with me in studio is my friend and colleague, Mr. Joseph Guerrero. Hi, Joe.
Big been happy, Percy. Big been happy
Big
to
up
your
in
audience as
Africa.
well.
Indeed.
I,
Joe,
you're
you're
not bad,
here
by.
to
You're
make
not too
a
bad.
thank you. Thank you, Joe. You're here to make
Mhm.
your presentation about the best version of yourself, past, present, and future. So, to frame your own narrative, Joe, how would you describe your early childhood, the environment in which you grew up?
The environment in which I grew up was one of family, of community of love in Dangriga on Sawai Street. We used to
Okay,
live by the water system there, and
yes.
then
Close to the
we moved
Cochano?
to, yeah, exactly, right there by
Go
the
ahead.
water system. And
Uh-huh.
then one day we moved to Belize, to
City?
Belize City.
City?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was just a baby, but I remember
Okay.
it very well. Everybody was making a fuss, moving things. I had no clue. Hey, I'm a baby. I just went where we went. We went on
Yes,
a
yes.
truck. We went on a truck, why? And then suddenly we were in a new place. I got out. I went into the place. Welcome to
Uh-huh.
Belize City.
What age
You
would
know,
you
in those
say,
days,
more or
though,
less?
in those days, though, the
Uh-huh.
environment was that there was a lot of migration to Belize
Yes,
City of Garifuna in those days,
it's
which would
true.
have been the late 60s, mid to late 60s, early 70s. Not a lot of Garifuna families migrated to
It,
Belize
it,
City.
it is true. But for
We were
for
one.
for different reasons, like in
Hmm.
me and Paul's case, and Paul and I are a year and a half apart, we did it because Sixth Farm was not in the district at that time. So he and I
Hmm.
migrated. My sister Leonie, who was older also, to come to Sixth Farm here in Belize City. So
Right.
you migrated
Hmm.
for what? People migrate for jobs. Your parents were teachers, right?
Well, Percy, my father got a job there. My mother went to
Okay.
the Belize Technical School there for teachers in Belize Teachers College. My
Yes,
mother
yes, yes.
went to Belize Teachers College, and my
I
brother
see. Uh-huh.
went to St. John's, uh, where he ran track and he won them a gold medal for St. John's.
Your
My
brother,
brother was
your brother,
George Guerrero. George Guerrero, yeah.
George. Okay.
Yeah. He went to
So,
St. John's and he was a track runner.
okay.
And
So
so
you
I grew up with
uh-huh.
elder, my
Older
elder
siblings.
sister.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think what shaped myself personally was my elder siblings, which was
Uh-huh.
Marion, who was the oldest, and she's a person who is unable to hear and speak,
I
hearing
see.
impaired, and
Okay.
but very bright. She taught us everything.
Mhm.
She taught me how to
Okay.
run a house, clean, sweep, etc. She
Oh.
taught us all
Oh.
because our parents, remember, were working. So
Right.
she was in charge of the house.
She
I
became the
had my
leader.
elder,
Mm-hmm.
correct,
Mm-hmm.
correct. I had my elder
Mm-hmm.
brothers who took care of the younger ones. You know how Garifuna family goes. The elder
Yes, yes.
ones are in charge of the
Responsible
younger
for.
one when the parents
Yes,
are
yes.
away. And you
Yes.
respect your elder brother and
I'm listening. You gone off? You
when
still
they're
there?
away.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. Sorry
So
about that.
what
You respect
yeah,
your elders.
yeah, uh-huh. But Joe, what high school and so on did you attend in?
So after we moved to Belize City, then my parents eventually migrated to the United States and sent for us. And we came to the United States, and I actually finished elementary school, sixth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade here in the U.S. And I
You move
also,
early.
yeah,
You move
I
early.
moved
Okay.
early. In fact, it was only about 3 or 4 years after we moved to Belize City that we came to the U.S.
Got
So
you,
it
got
seems
you.
like Belize City only acted as a jumping off point, no, a springboard
Mm-hmm.
to the U.S. for the
Mm-hmm.
family. And I completed
Yes.
the fifth and sixth grade. And talk about culture shock. You go
Uh-huh.
from the disciplined classroom of Belize to a very undisciplined 1970s classroom in the United States. Culture shock
Okay.
galore.
Uh-huh.
Culture shock.
Uh-huh.
And then the culture shock, I think it continued through high school. I think it was about, I was in a junior in high school until I got over the culture shock. And I'm
I
still
see.
trying to adjust to it. I'm
Okay.
still trying to adjust to the culture.
Okay. In the sense that they are kind of loosey goosey, right?
Yeah,
Because when
it's not
I
discipline.
used to
It's just not
watch,
discipline.
yeah, before we had we only had like antenna TVs and only a few and only black and
Right.
white mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you'd see like, um Chicago channel where the kids, Bozo the clown and so on, would the kids would throw a pie in their parents' face and things of that sort. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing, when I saw it and I experienced it because I too did a first degree in Chicago, I was unfamiliar with that kind of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Viewed it at the time as disrespect to parents,
Mm-hmm.
but it was
It's
what it
just
was.
different. You're in a different country, different
It is
environment, and
it is a different.
you come from a disciplined place in Belize, which I think
Mhm.
helped me to be able to focus actually. Um, Growing up here in the US as my
Mhm.
children did, my older children seem to have a focus that I like. My youngest, his mother is an American woman,
Mhm.
and he just did not get much of the Garifuna or Belizean kind of
Flavor.
rearing. But
Okay.
he got his Garifuna father right here who did what he can, because
Yes, yes, yes.
I
To
didn't have
influence,
custody, of course.
share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had my children when I could get them, and when I
Yes,
could
yes.
see them, and life goes on that way when you.
Share
It's a
custody.
culture shock. It's
Uh-huh.
not. It's for me. It's not. It's not something I think that was meant for myself personally.
Joy,
And so I think that
are you?
kept me uh, uh, in tune with what's happening in Belize. I was always interested in
I
what's
see.
happening in Belize.
I
Always was,
see.
because I was not fully here emotionally.
Yes,
You know,
I got you.
I
I
wasn't
got you.
here. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. But tell me about your your spiritual influence. Did at any point did you attend church and so on, or did you
Well,
gravitate towards
my yeah, my grandmother was an elder in the church, of course, Dominica Guerrero, and Ni Bengoche,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
everywhere she went, we had to go to church. I
mhm.
mean, she was the church person.
Okay,
But I had a very interesting conversation with my mom, who just recently passed,
okay,
and I'm still
okay.
trying to get over that. But
Hmm.
I was about 14 years old in what they call religious instructions here in the U.S., which is your
Yes.
Catholic thing that you go through
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to get the Catholic dogma.
Affirmation. Yes.
They
Uh-huh.
teach you right, and then it leads to confirmation.
Right.
And one day, the sister, the nun, Sister Marianne, was teaching us that the Pope was John Paul at the time. We had Bishop Francis
Hmm.
McGovern in New York,
Hmm.
and she said, the Pope, of course, he's infallible. The Pope doesn't make mistakes.
Okay.
And at the age of 14, I thought that caught my attention. At
Okay.
the age of
In a way,
14,
you were curious. You didn't quite buy it, right? You didn't quite buy it.
I did not, and it
Okay.
bothered me so much.
Okay.
My mother and I used to bake cakes on the weekends,
Okay. Let's move on.
and
Let's.
one of the discussions we had now, mom, the teacher, Sister Mary Ann, because everybody knew her. She served the
Yes.
diocese. She served the
Yes.
community.
Yes,
See,
Joe,
I
but
said,
let's
Sister
move on
Mary
now.
Ann, yeah, Sister Mary Ann taught us that the Pope doesn't make mistake. I said, but he's a
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
He
but Joe,
makes
let's move on. Let's move on.
okay. Yeah.
Let's move
No, but
on.
I'm just saying that was something that was like
Uh-huh.
when I caught myself thinking for myself.
Yes, yes. How about your
Okay.
career,
Hmm.
your career path, Joe? Your career path. Did you
Hmm.
just like earn a living, or at some point did you find your niche? How did that go?
Well, I always wanted to be a academician, but or however you say that word, but it just was not in the cards for me. So what I ended up doing was learning on my own. I did go to college. I went to the College of Aeronautics to study airframe and avionics, but
Hmm.
the economic cost, precluded me from continuing and finishing my
Hmm.
education there.
Hmm.
And so I switched to Queens College, and I had to declare a major. And quite frankly, I had no clue what I wanted to study. Now I know
Okay.
what my
Yeah.
passion is, but I I had no clue, and so I just kind of left that and got educated in life. And I also continued to study. I had about a year and a half at Queens College. I had about a year at the College of Aeronautics. And I just continued to study and research and read and learn throughout the
Yes,
years
yes.
at
Got you.
high levels. I tried to learn at high levels. And
Uh-huh.
it's still a passion of mine to learn. I still read papers here at home. I read papers in my
Yeah,
spare time.
but you said you at some point you found like your
Then
niche. Uh,
yeah, well,
what
I
would that
mean,
be?
in terms of working, I'm a nurse. I got a certificate, a licensed practical nurse certificate. I've been practicing for over 20 years um,
Okay.
in various different kinds of settings in the healthcare field. And
Okay.
my niche, I found about 10, 12 years ago when I met one of my brothers. I started to educate myself about
Mm-hmm.
for some reason human rights, humanity
Uh-huh.
became the niche that I became passionate about. Just the human being, and
Uh,
that we should all live up to our potential, and we should have access to grow our potential, to develop our potential as individuals. You might have yours, I might have mine, someone else, but everyone needs access to try to develop their personal potential. And I became
okay.
passionate about that.
I see. I see. I see. And in that regard, right? You began associating and joining various groups, right? And can you
Yes,
can you
at
describe or
first,
name a few?
sure. I was involved with the United Garifuna Association, which is the oldest diaspora Garifuna registered group in the
Okay.
US. It's
Okay.
the United Garifuna Association. That's a matter of record,
Okay. What
which I'm
else?
still a part of. And
Uh-huh.
I got involved with then Wellington Ramos and myself. We were going to form another group called the International Garifuna Association,
Mm-hmm.
and which was the same idea as the Garifuna Nation. So
Mm-hmm.
when at the same time the Garifuna Nation was being formed, I told Wellington, well, then let's leave that alone and let's join them because they're already doing it. So let's just be a part of them. And we
That's the
got
Ruben
together with
Reyes.
our
That's the
brethren.
Ruben Reyes structure, right?
Yes,
Pioneer.
correct, correct.
Uh,
Correct.
okay.
We joined them.
Mm-hmm. And
Garifuna,
then I saw
Garifuna,
you.
Garifuna, all of us.
I
So,
saw you. Yeah, I saw you. I don't know if you were co-hosting, but I saw you on Gary Vision.
yeah, Gary Vision 2 was a more like an outlet talk show to
Okay.
present Garifuna issues
Mm-hmm.
in terms of our human rights. The bigger issue, the internationalized issue, internationalized version, where we focus on our rights wherever we are, be it Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Urume, Belize, U.S. diaspora, wherever. The
Joe,
international right of Garifuna.
yes. So, Joe, your awareness and consciousness as a black man, more specific as a Garifuna man, um,
Mhm.
how did you come to own that and feel comfortable in your skin? When did that begin, and how did you evolve to this point where you're comfortable in your skin and
Mhm.
as they say, Garifuna dwell, Garifuna
Mhm.
pride. How did that? How did
I
you evolve? Mhm.
I felt like growing up as a child, I was proud as a Garifuna. When I
Mhm.
came to the U.S. and the cultural shock kind of made me insecure because you're different. You know you're different inside. We're all black people, right? You see black people everywhere
Yes,
outside,
yes,
but
yes,
inside,
yes.
you grow up with a different set of values as Garinago. I always
Mhm.
maintain those values that my parents taught me because I can't maintain the values that I wasn't taught by another culture, you know. So I maintain
Yes.
the values my parents taught me, and I felt kind of ashamed, embarrassed, not to be Garifuna, but to be the only one. You know what I mean? Wherever I went,
Uh,
or so I thought. I
you,
would later
yes,
learn that other high school classmates were Garinago,
I see.
and none of us spoke about it. So I
I
don't think I was
see.
the only one, you see, among this sea of non-Garifuna. I don't think I'm the only one who felt like insecure or they're like
Uh-huh.
I had no reference to tell them about. They knew no reference if I were to discuss Garinago. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it gives you a kind of insecurity, yeah.
Yeah. But to
But then
them,
after that,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um,
After that, uh-huh.
I became more conscious. I know I'm Garifuna. I studied our history. I learned. My brethren, they helped me out to learn, refer me to sources, and etc. And
Mhm.
I became more comfortable with it, very comfortable with it. And then I was also taught by another brethren, and I just took to this thing naturally. It was just in me naturally to be an advocate.
Yes.
To by a brethren who referred me to international standards, who referred me to law references,
Yeah.
etc.,
I,
and educated me even further about it. So I felt like I acquired the instruments I needed to be able to express myself, and
yes.
so that started my journey as a conscious advocate for Garifuna rights internationally.
I got you. But at some point, right, because you migrated to the US and you even completed from primary school there. So you really, so then you started journeying or finding your way back, right, to Belize, right?
Hmm.
And then immersing yourself. Am I right or no?
Correct.
When I say that,
That's correct. Chronologically, that's how it
you
went. Yeah,
reconnected. You
yes, I
reconnected with
reconnected.
the uh-huh. And how has that journey been, reconnecting, and what has been the level of your involvement reconnecting back with the homeland?
With the homeland, my reconnection was consisted of my being in touch with my people there, my relatives, my friends,
Mhm.
and in Belize we seem to have lifelong friends. You meet them
Right.
again,
Yes.
on your way on your journey. You meet them again, which I did, and to
Uh-huh.
find out many of my classmates were relatives anyway. So we've
Mhm.
always been in touch. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
in my 20s, my late teens and 20s, I started to travel a lot back to Belize and get
Okay.
that feeling for a home back in me because I didn't have it strong in the US anyway.
Ah, ah,
So I
ah.
felt more attached to Belize than I do to the US. I'm here like most people to earn a living and plan to retire home as quickly as possible.
I hear you. No, no, Joe. Did I, am I correct in understanding that you're passionate about music? And
Yes,
in
correct.
particular, perhaps, I don't know, what kind of music? What kind, and what
Hmm.
is your involvement? What has been your involvement with the music?
Well, I've always loved music, and actually, my music advocacy for Garifuna came before. the
Uh,
advocacy for Garifuna rights.
okay.
I came across some information while I was involved with Sounds Incorporated. I used to
Uh,
help Sounds Incorporated to kind of like navigate their way through knowledge of the business versus just
okay.
the entertaining part.
Give me a
Um,
name from Songs Incorporated. Give me a name.
my biggest client was Chico Ramos.
Chico. Okay, go
We
ahead.
yeah
Go ahead.
we worked together on all of his releases, and his traveling international travel happened with
Okay.
my help and
Okay.
organizing.
Got you. Got you.
Chico Ramos, you remember they had this Kung Soup thing, right?
Yes.
Where
Yes.
the Banda Blanca, it was myself who helped Chico to get his rights.
What a nigga Kung Soup.
What a nigga Kung Soup, yeah. So one day I was hanging out in the Bronx with Chico, and we
Uh,
heard his song on the radio.
uh,
And we looked at each other and we're like, what on earth? you know? So I did some investigation, and that's when I came across music rights and the Berne
okay.
Convention and how it applies to individuals who
Yes.
compose and what
Yes.
rights they have. And so we found a lawyer. I went to lawyers and I introduced Chico to a lawyer and explained, and we showed them everything, and they took the case for us, and
Uh,
we were able to get some settlements, from the
I see.
people who had released it. And
I see.
there's, Chico has he had assigned his rights to a publishing company,
Okay.
and the rights will soon revert to him. In fact, next year, the rights
Yeah.
will revert back to Chico, and then he
Hey,
can
tell me
hold his
something.
song.
Chico haven't been one of your clients, right?
Hmm.
Can you name more of his songs other than Kung Soup? Are you familiar with more of his songs? Original songs, his original, other than Kung Soup.
Yeah, he has the Maritua,
Yeah, I
um,
know
the karate punta time,
that.
scratch up my back.
Ah,
Um, I mean, a lot of songs that Chico
ah,
have. In those times when he was releasing that music, it was myself and him and the Sounds Incorporated band who were working together to make things happen, to
mhm.
get them out there. We were never able to get a good deal. Chico is released on Sony Records right now, but it's only a distribution deal. It's not
Okay.
like a recording. Also, it's only a distribution,
Mm-hmm.
and Sony still has the some of his CDs available or his recordings
Yeah.
on their platform.
While you managed him, did you ever get him into Europe or no?
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, we
Uh-huh.
did, we did. We went on a 2 week tour. I think it was with Oxfam.
Uh-huh.
We went to Scotland. We were in England. We
Mm,
went to the those United Kingdom. We went to the
I
Ireland
see.
also,
Yes.
and
Scotland,
we also
Ireland.
went to we went to Colombia as well. Um, and Chico, of course, he did with the Belize government. They took him to like the islands, the Caribbean islands, on those things, etc. So yeah, some
Yes.
things happened.
Yes, Belize has an embassy in Brussels. I've been there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, and sampling bears by my over 100 different brand of bears there.
Yeah,
But I'm a
and in
dark
fact,
bear. Uh,
interestingly, Percy,
uh,
when we were getting the receipts from ASCAP, uh, where your song was played, and then you get paid, no?
uh-huh.
Chico was getting money from Indonesia, Japan,
Is that right?
China,
I
Asia.
see. I
Yeah,
see.
a
Because
lot
they
of
were using
countries in
his music,
Asia.
so he was getting some of that.
Correct.
I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
So that's where my advocacy for rights
Yes,
really took
yes,
hold,
your influence.
because to
Very
help
good.
Chico, I had to learn about the music rights.
I got you, bro. I got
And
you.
then
And in more than
having learned
America,
the music rights,
internationally.
yes,
Yes, yes.
having
I
learned
got
that, Then I said, I spoke to someone from ASCAP, a lawyer,
Okay.
and he told me, Mr. Guerrero, if you want to do something for your country,
Mhm.
you should form a music society.
Okay.
I had no clue what that was, Percy. So
Uh-huh.
I went, I did what Joe Guerrero does. I went to learn. I learned
Okay.
about it. That's what Joe Guerrero does. He learns.
And what is a music society?
A music society is a organization. It's also called a collective management organization. Collective management. That means you take the rights of a lot of people
Uh-huh.
and you manage their rights collectively. So if
Okay.
they didn't have CMOs, Percy, Love FM would have to deal with about 100,000 artists who write songs that Love FM plays
Individually. Uh-huh.
individually. That makes
Got you.
no sense.
Got you.
So you take one organization in the country
Uh-huh.
that
Represent them.
has their collective rights and then license their music to everybody.
Got you, bro.
And
Got you.
so
Understood.
I formed a company in Belize, a collective management organization called BizCap in Belize, which is
Mhm.
the only legitimate company that can collect for licensing in terms of music and authorship.
And is it active though? Is it active? Is
It
it
is
active?
active. It's active and active, right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
in Belize, it's still a uphill climb to get Belize to
Wow.
respect the rights of others. So it's
Wow.
still an uphill climb to work with the government and to work with the people who use music in their business to make money. So
Mhm.
you have a lot of organization companies making nightclubs, restaurants using music in their business to pull customers, and they're not paying the required licensing fee. But it's an uphill battle to even get the government to take it seriously. The government, they don't take it's what you call the economic um, the creative economy, Percy. It's a part of the creative economy.
I understand.
It's
I got
right there under the shadows, waiting to burst out, but it's there.
you. So, Joe, to cap off this segment,
Hmm.
what would you like to see happen? Whether it be about the future of music in Belize, and the the musicians and so on. What would you like to see happen
I would
going
really
forward?
love, going forward, I would love to see the government and the Belizean society take the rights of other people seriously, the creative rights of people, because the creative rights is what our creative sector depends on so that they can continue to create. It's their
Uh-huh.
specialty.
Uh-huh.
They
Uh-huh.
get paid. They
Yes.
need to be
So
paid so that they can continue what they do best, Percy. They may
yes,
not interview people like you, Percy, but when you hear their song moves you,
of course.
you know?
Of
And
course.
so that's important to any society, Percy. Entertainment.
Look, I'm telling you, Joe, that I'm a child of the 60s, together with your brother. He's my classmate,
Mm-hmm,
John from Sacred Heart, who
mm-hmm,
was very close friends with Ted Nogales.
mm-hmm,
And I'm telling you that when we would cross the bridge that separates north from south, Penn would be there doing two things. He would be drawing with his easel, and canvas. That is one.
mm-hmm.
Yengeti. And from there, next thing you know, he has one turtle shell and he's beating this thing. So, high level. And so, after a while, there was more than one shell, two shell, three shell. But that original song began with Penn. I remember that very clearly. The turtle shell song.
Mm-hmm.
And but what I said that to say that you would people would stop and criticize Penn when he would be taking a break from drawing, he would start to play. Awati herengo luago magolati nege mugile. That Penn is lazy. Why doesn't he get a 9 to 5, 8 to 5?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because obviously they didn't see
The
music that
value.
time, the
They don't
creation
see
of
the
music
value.
as a profession,
Mm-hmm.
as an
Mm-hmm.
income earner. Somehow, we were naive then. We didn't see art in general, art as
Mm-hmm.
an income earner. So no wonder the German, and I've been to Germany, no wonder the German girl came and just scoop pen up, and because she was we were behind time, in my view. But anyway, Joe, what else as we kept this segment? You had an issue you wanted to talk about. What is that?
The
Land rights?
in terms of the rights of both the entertainment sector and the human rights of people are dear to me,
Okay, but
because
you didn't want to talk about the Garifuna land. You did. That's not the issue. You would stick with the music. That's
no, I was just saying that the human rights per se
mm-hmm.
include the land rights,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what Judge Conte ruled. The way he got to the land rights is he said the Constitution protects human rights.
Okay.
And a part of human rights is land rights, Percy. That's how you get there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
Okay.
what Judge Conte said.
I
And
get
that
it.
applies to who? It applies to Garinago.
Included. Uh-huh.
Garinago, because Judge Conte interpreted the Constitution. He didn't say this is only for this group. He said this is what the Constitution says for all indigenous groups.
Okay. But what
You
has been
understand?
your involvement, and what evidence is there that you know of when it comes to the communal land rights of the Garinagu? Maybe
When it
in
comes,
Belize in
Mhm.
particular.
Well, in Belize in particular, now, Percy, we have to look at the historical settlement, because that's your evidence in court.
Mm-hmm.
Your evidence in court isn't that, oh, we have papers to these territories. No, because as most indigenous groups, you will not see them giving you title to this and that.
It's true, Joe.
Our
It's
evidence
true.
has to be the history, which is common knowledge in Belize. Now,
Yes.
Percy,
Uh-huh.
Garifuna, despite what is taught, did not come to Belize. Belize came to Garifuna. When Garifuna settled south of the Sibun, south of the Sibun was still under the control not of the British. It wasn't under the control of British. In fact, in 1797 or so, I saw a letter where the business people had to write to the King of Spain for permission to log beyond the Sibun. And they were granted permission to go ahead and do the economic activity. Then
Yes.
came
Uh-huh.
then came Garifuna, who settled, and then Garifuna went all over. They radiated from Honduras and came to Belize. Then
Yes.
in 1859, after the Civil War, I mean the Central America War of Independence,
Uh-huh.
in 1859, we had a deal with the Guatemalans that south of the Cibun up to the Sarstone would be the border, no, for the British
Yes.
territory. Remember, it's still a territory now. And so in 1862, Belize officially became a colony of England, a protectorate of the England or United Kingdom or Great Britain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so Garifuna were already there. People think in the terms of indigenous what it means, how indigenous is used by the United Nations as people who were there before the borders were drawn.
Yes. But
And
now
some people
yes, but
think
that is established,
indigenous.
like you said.
Go ahead.
That is established, like you said. It's just a matter of properly documenting. So if needs be, you represent it in court through the affidavit and so on, right?
hmm
from the timeline and things of that sort and the settlements. But have you been doing work in this area together with your group, your associated groups? Have you been doing work in this area, the legal work that it will take to maybe one day take this thing to court?
Yes, of course. The Garifuna Nation has been at this building a case for Garifuna
Okay.
for many years now, even before the 2008 decision and the 2015 appeals win by the Maya. Garifuna Nation was looking at this and building a case that the
When did
government
Garifuna Nation constitute itself? I know it's in the United States,
in
but when?
in 2014,
Okay.
the Garifuna Nation on paper was formed, but we were meeting before that.
Okay.
But 2014 is the official launch of the paperwork of Garifuna Nation.
But Garifuna Nation, by definition, right, represent the different countries where Garifuna reside, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
It's not only Belize, right?
But
So it's
Belize
an
has,
umbrella.
Belize
It's an umbrella
needs the most
organization,
help.
right?
Yes,
So Garinagu in
Belize,
Nicaragua,
correct.
Honduras,
In Honduras, Guatemala, Uruguay,
yes, and
Belize,
Nicaragua.
and
We already said Nicaragua, yes.
yeah, I said Nicaragua.
And there where you are, Joe.
Yeah,
Diaspora,
yeah,
right?
and
Because
here in the diaspora as well.
there's a huge following there. Well, and
Yes,
membership there, membership.
yes, in here.
No, okay. So,
But Percy,
yeah, go ahead.
the Garinagu in Belize are the most nascent stage in terms of their own human rights.
The most what?
Uh, in their most nascent stage, the nascent stage, the very first levels of human
Okay,
rights.
okay,
I think after much advocacy, only now it's being accepted that we do have rights to our territories, our human rights to our land. And you know what the human rights is for, Percy? That angle that the Garifuna Nation is taking it on. Everybody is concerned about Garifuna losing the culture. And the way to stop using the culture, to stop losing the culture, is to be Garifuna, is to use your culture, use your language. And if you want to use your culture and your language, the government doesn't know how to use your language and your culture. So how can the government then make policies that govern where you live? They're going to interfere with Garifuna Dual, as we have seen. The schools, the way that they set up the schools without any kind of consultation with the indigenous people, you're going to lose your culture because they won't teach in your language. They're going to teach in the language of the colonial people. So where do you get to maintain your language if you don't use it?
Okay, so that would be your recommendation.
That's my recommendation. We have to get control of our territories and be Garifuna shamelessly. Talk Garifuna everywhere you go. Everywhere you go in the territories, that's where it's safe to be Garifuna. You don't need excuses. You won't. I mean, I've heard complaints all the way here where in the BDF they don't want them to talk Garifuna. We all know the case in the bank. They don't want them to talk Garifuna. I mean, who are they? You could talk Spanish, you could talk German, but you can't talk Garifuna. Where will we be safe to talk Garifuna person?
Okay, Joe. Okay. And what are your closing remarks now?
Well, what I would like to say is we need people to be aware. Garifuna people, we need you to be aware. We need your support when we go to the court to file to get leave to have a hearing in front of a judge. And we're almost at that stage. We're getting there. We need, and we will definitely work with the Garifuna organizations in Belize to push our common interests on behalf of Garinagu, the collective Garinagu, no? And Percy, the Garifuna rights to our territories, we have such rights there. But once you leave the territory, you're just an ordinary Belizean. Okay. So I just
Okay.
want people to know that. But we, support of the Garinagu with Garifuna Nation and with all the Garifuna organizations who are trying to work for us collectively. Let's support each other. That's what we need, strength through support.
Joe, I think that's a very good note to end on.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Okay, my friend. Thank you
Thank you
again.
so much.
Yes,
Good to
yes. You
talk with you, man.
represented.
Good to talk with you.
Likewise, Joe. You have a good
Mhm.
one and warm regards to your family.
Thanks, likewise.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Are you?
Ayo, ayo, ayo.